Hey, what's good, everybody? This your boy D-Man for Life, aka D-Mizzle for Rizzle on the Xbox Live, back with part 3 of the Fire Pro Wrestling roster video. So, we're on the TNA portion of the roster. It's not as robust as the WWE portion, but still got a lot of wrestlers. Some that I like, some that I don't. And here we are with one of my favorite wrestlers, Rob Van Dam, Mr. Pay-Per-View, Mr. Monday Night, the whole effing show. Uh, he hasn't been what I thought he would be since joining TNA, but he's still fun to watch, just not on the WWE level that he used to be. Might be age catching up with him, because he's certainly not injured. Next up, we have Amazing Red. This is kind of out of date because this is his indie look. I know he looks a lot different now, but the moves are there. I just have to update the look. I might just make a second version to update the look rather than going over this one, but still a good Amazing Red. Next, we have Kurt Angle, Olympic wrestler. He's doing work in TNA. He's actually stuck around in TNA a lot longer than I thought he would. Thought he'd be heading back to WWE after his first contract went out, but I guess he likes it in TNA, so he stayed there. He just signed a new contract, just got finished with a series of matches with Jeff Jarrett, trying to train for the 2012 London Olympics. I don't think he'll make it, but I wish him all the best. And next we have here the shoot fight version of Kurt Angle when he had that match with Samoa Joe. He was doing all this shoot fighting training and everything, and here he is barefoot, got the MMA trunks going, got his leg taping going. That was actually a pretty good match. If you can find it, I suggest you watch it. Next, here we have one of the most underutilized wrestlers in perhaps all of North American wrestling. We got Samoa Joe. I don't know what TNA's deal is with this guy. They either need to piss or get off the pot with this guy, because the guy has excellent wrestling credentials. He can work a match with everybody. He can make anybody look good. Yet they don't give this guy the time of day to do what he needs to do to get over. They keep starting and going. So I think they should just release the guy, let him get his recognition in the indie circuit, go over to Japan, let the guy do what he does, and that's wrestle matches. But they're not doing that in TNA, so I don't know what their problem is with them. And next here, we got an old version of Samoa Joe. A lot of people may not recognize this version, but this is when he was in 0-1 in Japan. And you may have seen him in some dark matches in WWF as well under this outfit. It was a kind of light brownish shirt with his name on the front, Samoa Joe. He had blonde hair at the time. And I'm honestly surprised he didn't end up in WWF after that dark match, because it was pretty damn good. And next we have Jeff Jarrett, pretty much one of the founders of TNA. Now he's a minority owner. Dixie Carter owns the company, of course. Well, not Dixie Carter, but Panda Energy owns the company. Dixie Carter runs it. And he just came off a series of matches with Kurt Angle, and they were pretty good. No matter what you think of Jeff Jarrett, he can put on a very excellent match. And that's something you can never take away from the guy. And here we have Sting. Not the hugest Sting fan. Dude does need to step aside, similar to Undertaker. He's been in the game a long time. It's time to let some fresh faces come up and do work. He should be helping people get over. He shouldn't be holding titles at this point in the game, but this is TNA we're talking about, and Vince Russo, Dixie Carter, and who else is running? And Eric Bischoff are running the show there, so that's why you see Sting as champion, even though he just recently lost to Mr. Anderson. So, and we got the master of the irreverent promo, Scott Steiner. This guy is a promo machine. He's one of the like every promo that he does is a shoot video, just waiting to happen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go on YouTube and look up Scott Steiner, Who's Next. One of the most interesting and fun videos you'll ever find about the guy. And unfortunately, Petey Williams no longer in the Federation anymore, but still a top wrestler in the Indie Fed. One of the most devastating finishers in the world. Canadian Destroyer is one of my favorite finishers to look at. You see a lot of people trying to do it, but they fuck it up. But I wish he would come back to the mainstream. But if you're an indie wrestling fan, you know where you can find him at. Even though this guy's no longer in TNA Wrestling, he's doing work over in Japan. Tyson Tomko. He was doing work in TNA when Christian was there, Christian Cage. But ever since Christian left, kind of fell by the wayside. But you can find him in Japan. And this is pretty much Mr. TNA. Guy's been there since day one. AJ Styles, the only Grand Slam champion in TNA Wrestling. He did it twice. And they're starting to push him more, which is great because he's pretty much their foundation. He's the bread and butter. You need a small guy who can work a match with anybody. AJ Styles is your guy. And you got the blueprint, Matt Morgan, underutilized guy in WWF, but seems to found his niche in TNA. He's got a good, solid gimmick going. Good big man worker. If they gave him a run at the top, I'm sure he would do some good things. And you got the Monster Abyss. A lot of people like to call him a knockoff Mick Foley, but it's not a bad thing. He's got some big man wrestling skills. Can take a lot of punishment, which I commend him for. And he's over. He's good. He can work a variety of matches. The current X Division champion, proving that not all X Division champions need to do hurricanranas and moonsaults off the top of the cage. And even though Rhino's not in TNA anymore, he's still one of my favorite guys. Been through a lot. He's gonna make his debut in Ring of Honor pretty soon, so watch out for that as Prince Nana's bodyguard. But I'm sure he'll do work in Ring of Honor. So there you go. And you got Brother Ray. I need to update this and make another version of him because he's now Bully Ray. But I do like the Bully Ray gimmick. It's allowing him to come out into his own, cut some interesting promos, do some good work with AJ Styles. If you haven't noticed that, I suggest you get up on that. It's one of the few bright spots in TNA Wrestling, well, Impact Wrestling at the moment. Bully Ray, give him a look. You won't be disappointed. And then you got Brother Devon, still Brother Devon. He's helping out the up and comers, putting in good matches with Bully Ray. He's running a wrestling school with Bully Ray down in Florida. He hasn't been on TNA TV that much recently, but overall a solid wrestler. Another guy I do love, he's working the wrestling indie circuit at the moment, is Homicide. He's not in TNA right now, which is their loss, because he is an excellent wrestler, one of the few Mexican wrestlers out there that don't wrestle the luchador style, but still, well, he's not Mexican, he's Puerto Rican. My mistake. I should have known that since I am partially Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans everywhere, I'm sorry, but he is an excellent Hispanic wrestler, and he should have never been let go from TNA, but for whatever reason they dropped the ball on him, and he's still flourishing in Ring of Honor. Big fan of Botchamania, from what I understand. And here we have a big man, Hernandez. He's a very agile big man. He's a Mexican. Shout out to my man Nericor Olavato. And just be on the lookout for him because I think he could be a future TNA champion. And we have Frankie Kazarian. He's got lots of moves for your ass. He could do a lot of things, and he's underrated. He's a X Division star at the moment, but I think he's an underrated wrestler. They just need to decide what they want to do with this guy. let him reign over the X division for a little bit, possibly give him a run at the shot at the top of the card with the big dogs. They need to focus on this youth movement more, and this is the guy I think could be leading the way along with Big Money. And Mick Foley was just released, I think it was last week. Not much of a wrestler these days, but is still an interesting personality, great author. Truth teller in a business that's known for lies, gives honest interviews, tells you what he thinks, and I appreciate about that guy. He's a very interesting person I did have the honor of meeting, get his autograph, so Mick Foley for you. Scott Hall, I don't know what the hell his status is in TNA, but the dude is on the ropes. He's, according to reports, he's trying to drink himself to death. He's kind of giving up on life. I hope that's not true, because he was one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day when he was doing the NWO thing and as Razor Ramon in the WWF. So I hope he gets his life on track, but he doesn't seem to have the people around him